venom until they body me. Unstoppable, can't stop me, kamikaze. Trumpets blow, warning you peasants of my arrival. The king is back, blowing weed smoke about my nostrils. Black hoodie, Aeropostale, black Morocco. Chick on my dick, her body like a model. Whispered in my ear, she been dreaming about me. Feelings mutual, porno scene, and then I'm out.
All right, y'all. Welcome everybody to Phoenixville to Phoenix, episode 4. As you see, we have a special guest, Jon fucking Murdock, one of my favorite people on the planet. Kelly will not be joining us this week. She did have surgery. That's part of the reason why she was out a few weeks ago as well. She'll be on next week, hopefully next week. If not next week, hopefully the week after that. And yeah, but she's doing good. Her spirits are high. I just spoke to her. I think Monica just spoke to her as well. So all's good with that.
I got a call her.
Murdock, what's up?
What up?
How you feeling? Yeah, I mean, don't judge me. I am drinking a Mickey's.
Let me see that.
I'm eating strawberry frosted mini wheats.
Oh shit, Mickey's back in the day, and I never tried them.
I like Mickey's. I actually drink. If I go to beer, I either drink Blue Moon or Mickey's. That's a weird probably combination, but that's what I drink.
I don't drink beer. Not anymore.
Well, what's good? How was everybody's week?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Good. Chilling. Being a hermit.
Anything important happen?
Not really.
Not really. Yeah.
No.
I had the baby shower this week. That went well. That was dope. I never had nothing like that before. And to be honest with you, it's dope to see. Like, I don't know. I think, you hear about shit like that. Motherfuckers dropping off all types of presents, a little party. But to experience it's a whole different thing. I didn't get a chance to do that with Kellen. My youngest, my oldest son. But I got a chance to do it now. And it's pretty cool just to see everybody just give and the love. It just, you feel loved. You know what I mean? It's like the baby ain't here yet, but yet she feels real love. So that's pretty dope. It's just a dope.
Absolutely.
It was fun. Everybody had fun. We had games, all types of shit. It was fun. We gave away prizes. Yeah, sure.
Sounds fun.
I was trying to get my nephew to film it, but he had some other plans. He ended up not making it, but could have got a little video out the deal, but we didn't. But yeah, that was dope. That was probably the highlight of my week. And yeah.
What happened? My mom went to see Donald Trump at a Donald Trump rally.
Me and Monica was just talking about it yesterday. Remember how Wolf
in Allentown and shit.
Wolf said he didn't allow him to go certain places, so he made him go to Allentown, right? Didn't he only approve certain?
Yeah, like I think certain counties or towns maybe because of COVID or something of that nature where he was restricted on where he was allowed to go. And I thought it was interesting because as the president, you would think that he would have the final say, but
Monica, we just spoke about this
exactly. That's
10 minutes ago, where how you didn't want as I say we, because I don't want it either. You don't want one person having all the say in anything. That's what the democracy's for. You know what I mean? Because you don't want it becomes a dictatorship at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. But I was thinking Trump would trump the governor. But that's not the way it worked out on that.
He did not trump the governor on that one. The governor told him where he could go. But I mean, Allentown's not a bad place to go if you're a Trump supporter, if you ask me.
He said there was like 40,000, 50,000 people out there. Smooth. I'm not going to get into all of it, but
PA's a swing state, but if you get outside of any of the cities, I mean, Allentown's a big city in Pennsylvania. It's not a small city in Pennsylvania. It's a nice sized city. So if you get outside the cities in the rural Pennsylvania, it's a lot of Trump supporters out there. That's like you'll see a lot of that. A lot of Republicans.
A lot of hicks and a lot of
hillbillies. Yeah, a lot of hillbillies. It just is what it is. Arizona's the same way. When you get outside of Phoenix and Flagstaff and these big cities, it's all hillbillies. That's anywhere. I mean, anywhere you travel, I think in this country, you get outside the city, it's more.
We're talking about rural areas. Where did they send y'all at when y'all were younger? What cities you have to go to?
They sent Derek. They sent me to South Mountain. They sent Derek to fucking Kentucky.
Well, I was in South Mountain for the Abraxas boot camp thing, 105 days, but I had to do two 2 weeks, they took us to Kentucky in a Daniel Boone National Forest or State Forest, some shit. And
who the fuck is Daniel Boone? Because I know that motherfucker, Daniel Boone was a beast. They named a high school and everything after him up
I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know who Bull is. Maybe maybe I should look that up. I don't know.
Looked it up,
Daniel
but I know he
was somebody important.
And there's all types of shit in that forest. That shit's fucking crazy. Then they had me on a solo for 3 days where I had to sleep outside for 3 days. They gave me a bag of trail mix.
Trail mix.
2 quarts of water in canteens, right? Like his military style in canteens. And you had to build your own shelter and you had to live out there for 3 days.
That shit sounds, as a kid, that shit's probably whack. But right now, shit, we did that. Me and my girl did that shit the other couple fucking months ago.
Yeah, but you didn't have a bag of trail mix.
Nah, I didn't have a bag of trail mix. We had a car and everything. We slide.
And what'd you bring to sleep in? A tent, right?
Yeah, we got a tent.
What you
was a little suspect, but
you had to build where you slept at.
I had like a canvas style tarp, and I had to build it. But I had a cool little joint. It was working. Fuck it. It was what it was. I don't know.
Did you see bear?
Nah, mountain lions.
She said, "Did you see bear?"
I would think you would out there. Mountain lions. Whoa! Did you see that fucking
the video?
The video. I guess the bull was in Utah hiking. I guess.
Yeah, he was at a state park in Utah. He's jogging.
Okay.
He said he was jogging on the path.
I thought the one boy was that the dude that where the one attacked him and he was walking backwards away from it.
Yeah. He got away from that jump.
That one had his babies with him or whatever with her.
Yeah, that's why I think it went after him like that. But he listen.
You see how she spun off, like he sees him, and he stops because she's down a little bit. So he stops, and I'm thinking, all right, she's walking off, but she spun and dipped back on him real quick.
Man, she dipped in the woods, and he knew it. Soon as he seen the fucking mountain lion dip into the woods, he started putting the camera towards the woods. He knew that Jon was gonna pop out the woods. He was like, that Jon gonna creep right up on me. Yeah, I'd have been shook, bro. I'd have probably got eaten because I'd have turned around and probably ran or something, and that Jon would have just.
Yeah, I would not be worried about filming. My phone would have been done, and I would have been running, and I would probably have been dead. There's no way.
You didn't have a weapon on you. You got to pick something up, I guess. But I don't know what.
I'd have been throwing rocks at it or something.
That might just make it get more aggressive. I don't even know.
Yeah.
All I know is that motherfucker's gonna come for your neck and your face. So you got to protect it the best you can. That's how it's gonna get you.
Yeah. I looked up Daniel Boone, early American frontiersman who gained fame for his hunting expeditions through the Cumberland Gap and a natural pass through the Appalachian Mountains of Virginia, Tennessee, and Kentucky.
Oh, there we go.
I know the bull had to be somebody important because that motherfucker, they naming schools and everything after.
Yeah. Where did you have to go? You were in South Mountain, Corey? Did they make you do anything crazy there or no?
We did, we went to Gettysburg because Gettysburg's right there. Derek knows it's right down the street. So it's probably 10, 15 minutes down the road is Gettysburg, the battleground zone. So we had to go there. We stayed there for a week. We had this horse training shit, but we stayed in teepees and shit. It was weird, but it was all right. It was actually kind of dope. It wasn't that bad.
They had you out there washing Mr. Ed.
They did away with
my horse's name was Simran. I still remember that to this day. Simran. Like, what the fuck kind of name is that? I don't even know what that means, but
it wasn't Taylor.
I wonder where he's at.
Simran. Simran's probably gone. How long? That was 20 years ago.
I don't know how long does a horse live for?
I don't think they live. I don't know. Who knows? That's a good question. I have no idea. I'd be lying if I said I knew how long a horse fucking stayed alive.
Yeah,
we gotta ask. What's her name? Marissa. Didn't she have a horse? Someone had horses. Someone that lives in Chester Springs.
Riding on the internet. I don't know. She got rid of the other one or sold it or something. I don't know what that one's name.
Remember the anorexic cows on Charlestown Road?
They're still back there.
Anorexic cows. That motherfucker.
And ain't been fed yet.
Somebody needs to call.
You talking about the Jones on Elbow Lane?
Yeah.
That's the weirdest spot. I still don't. Somebody told me the background of that situation, but yeah, they got that $1 million properties all around that place, and
It's
then just
just
some weird
jumped up.
It's
a
like
house.
a rundown crib on there with
50.
fucking, I don't know, cows or whatever. That shit bugged out.
Yeah, it's weird, and it's like odd placement because, like you said, like the neighbors are all, everything's all, you know what I mean, on point, and then just out of nowhere, it's just this play. It just looks bugged out. Definitely does.
Like Doc said, it's $1 million cribs out there. It's like
Yeah. So why does your shit look like that?
I don't know. It's in Chester Springs. It's one of the nicest areas around here. And then all of a sudden, you got these fucking skinny cows living on a side of a muddy hill. It's weird shit.
Them Jones look like they got a thyroid condition or something. Cows with a inactive thyroid.
Hyperactive thyroid.
Yo, what's going on in Philly right now? What they still wilding out today or no?
They got the National Guard out there, is what I heard.
Yeah, I think that's probably best. Because that shit. And to give a backstory for some people that might not know, Phoenixville's right outside Philly. Philly yesterday, Walter Wallace was shot by police. He had a knife in his hand. He was aggressive towards the police. They shot him. And I think me and Doc had a long conversation last night about, it's not about, we understand that sometimes cops gotta do what they gotta do. But I just personally think that there should be some sort of, we need to start looking at this and learning from it and saying, all right, how can we do better? Because I just don't think people should be shot, especially if it's true. I don't know. They're saying the boy had autism. I don't know how true that is. We'll find out, I guess, later on. You know how more comes out of these stories. You know what I mean? You make an emotional response, and then later on, you're like, okay, well, more context comes out, and you understand, all right, well, this ain't the whole story, whatever. But I just think we need to find better ways to subdue people instead of, I think they shot the bull 10 times. I mean, that's not, that's, of course, you weren't trying to just disarm them, shooting them 10 times. So, and they're taught to shoot to kill. So I think it goes into legislation to where we need to find a better way to resolve these situations. Because if somebody's shot out, that one time I was down, remember, both of y'all know about this. Greg, or your brother was there, Doc, when I was having an episode because I was all hied up for days at a time, all my goddamn mind. And like something bad could have happened that day. And I would hope that the cops would have some type of compassion and be like, look, you know what I mean? Like maybe this ain't in his character or this, that. And again, the cops may not have known that dude that well. We're from a small town to where we kind of know the cops a little bit. You know what I mean? They know us a little bit.
Well, they know us.
Yeah. But at the same time, I just think, I don't know, we need to find better ways to subdue them. Like
absolutely.
Eric was saying, we got cars that park themselves. But we can't find a better way.
Technology. They need some, everybody's argument's always the taser, all this shit, whatever else, the baton. I don't know. Somebody coming at you with a knife, I'm not going to go totally into it because other people have different views on it. But I know if somebody's coming at me with a knife and I got some, I'm not going to start karate chopping them. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to hit them with the gun, boom, and that's going to be that. But they need something in between the taser and the gun. The taser's not always working. Obviously, we see what the gun does. I don't know what it could be. Maybe the technology doesn't exist yet. I don't know. But we need to get Elon Musk on the joint and see, have him create something. Yeah. Now, if he does next and he makes a whole bunch more money, I want my cut.
And then mind you, and I was saying this to Corey too, there's obviously safe ways to apprehend people because look at our prison population, it's full. So those people got in there and they're alive.
But not everybody. I will say this. Not everybody resists arrest that's been in jail. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
I've been in jail, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 times. I don't know how many times it is. I'm not really counting. But I never try to run at the cops with a knife neither. I expect to get shot. If I do, I don't care what color you are. If you come out with a cop with a knife, that seems like a good way to get killed. Yeah. And I'm not trying to go out. You got me.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. I mean, again, situations are different. I don't know. This dude was having an episode, maybe. I guess that's the running story. And it's just like we gotta. I think we have to find a way to where that has to be last resort. And I don't know if it was. I don't know if they did try to taser. We don't know what they tried or what they didn't.
I agree with you. I don't want to see anybody die like that. It's a horrible situation. There got to be something in between. I told you, I don't know what it is or what. I don't know.
There definitely has to be better. We got to find a better way to figure that shit out.
Totally
I agree.
And talking about legislation, maybe changing the legislation to changing some of the procedures to where I don't know. I don't know the answer, but I know that this ain't working. Whatever, I think this year has shown us that this shit ain't working. Like, we got to find better ways to do shit. I mean, in some of the instances, Bulls was out of pocket. I think that George Floyd situation, two different situations. George Floyd, we seen a whole shit with that where they were fucking him up on the other side of the car. Then they put him in the car. Then they took him back out the car. That was a whole goofy ass situation. I think this is a little different. This is similar, I think, to the one in Lancaster. Wasn't there one in Lancaster a few months ago or whatever, where the Bulls?
Yeah, and I think everybody was upset, and then footage ended up coming out where I think the police were actually running away from him.
The footage, it shows a different side of the story. So
absolutely,
I think context, even when we see this footage, when we get more information about what happened, context, it adds context to it and allows us to make a better decision. I know with me, I make emotional decisions. I'm like, man, that's crazy, it's fucked up. But then a few days later, like even with the Breonna Taylor, you've seen how many lies and how the media was just reporting anything on that. And half of that shit wasn't even true. Half of that, whatever happened, wasn't true. Apparently, they did have a warrant to go into her house because her boyfriend, apparently, they thought he was selling drugs or somebody reported he was, whatever. I don't know. And that adds more context to it. Because at first they were saying that somebody broke into Breonna Taylor's house or the cops just came there and was at the wrong residence doing this. Like there was all types of misinformation coming out. And I think
it's almost like whisper down the lane with the media. Like by the time you tell me and then I tell Derek and Derek tells somebody else, it's like the story's all fucked up at that point.
Yeah. And then by the time we get the truth, it's like water under the bridge and it's like the next news story. You know what I mean? The news cycle and shit.
And speaking of which, that Fruitville Station movie was on TV over the weekend. I think Friday, maybe.
You said that.
And I always cry when I watch that movie. So, I just like to put this statement out. Cops are people, and just like we have crooked people, we have crooked cops. So sometimes they're out of pocket, just like other people would be, and other times that they're not. So, I mean, it's like you said, I think we just need to find a middle ground on a safer way. If people need to be locked up or whatever the case may be, to get them into custody alive and not dead.
Yeah, that's all. That's it.
There got to be something in between the taser and the gun. I don't know what it would be, but some kind of technology. I don't know something.
Even if it's like a leg shot, like try to shoot like a warning shot, like a non-lethal shot. I mean, the first shot shouldn't go right to his chest. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out better ways to do. I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
And I'm not a cop, so one thing I won't do is I'm not crazy pro cop, but I'm not anti-cop either. You know what I mean? So at the same time, you know what I mean? Agree. A good cop's a good cop, and I think me and Doc was talking, I brought up yesterday when we were talking, you have good cops and then you have like the Rodney King situation where it's like, damn, what the fuck is going on? Like it's a lot of goofy shit going on. Not saying every cop's on it. Every cop isn't on that type time.
Well, but the thing is, the world has changed. The technology has changed in a way that, say, the Rodney King. I'm going off of that. That somebody had a video camera, and that was like, sometimes, back then everybody didn't have.
Yeah, everybody lucky.
Everybody has a camera in their pocket now that they could pull out and film shit with. And now you're seeing, what you're seeing because everybody has a camera. But for all the time that the cops worked and the way they did shit, all their procedures, they didn't have people watching them like that. So
exactly.
So things are going to change as this evolves too.
Absolutely.
Because everything they do is being on camera now, so they can't move like they used to.
And one thing I don't knock, right? I always try to put myself in somebody else's shoes. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a cop, but if I was a cop and I see my partner do something that was a little suspect, I'm probably going to cover for him. Just like if I see Doc doing something a little suspect, I'm probably going, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to tell him. So I can see how, and that code of silence, it sucks when you're on the other end of it, but we do it the same way too. And we can't talk about in our communities how we don't snitch and we don't tell, and how we shun those that do. But that can't be mad at a cop too for kind of looking out for his butt. He might have, that dude might have saved his life one time or another in the line of duty. So you can't, you know, and he might look out for him like, okay, he roughed the ball up a little bit, but you know, I'm gonna cover for him because that's my man. Exactly. And you gotta understand that too. Like
if you're gonna condemn snitching, it just can't be when it's convenient.
Can't be one way. It can't be one way. It
Exactly.
Can't be a double standard. It can't be a double standard. That's real. That's real shit. And I know I probably get flack for saying that, but that's real shit. Come on, man. We can't, you know. But I just think.
Listen, I try to stay away from them guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, I don't want no business with them. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up with let's talk about that presidential debate. Did you see it? Did you see it, Doc? Did you watch any of it?
The second, John? The last one?
The one that happened last week, I think, Thursday? It was Thursday, I believe, right?
Nah.
I think Thursday, yeah.
I didn't fuck with that. I watched that one from like a couple weeks ago, whenever that was.
Yeah, that was like a shit show.
Yeah, it was. I watched Thursdays, and I would say there's a huge improvement from the one that just happened this week to the one prior.
Yeah.
The moderator was better, and I think that's very important too. When you are having a debate, the moderator can't be debating both candidates too.
Nah, the referee got to be neutral.
Absolutely,
got to be neutral.
So in previous things, like even when I saw like the town hall ones and stuff like that, I think the moderator sets the tone a lot for something. So if you have somebody that's there to ask questions, but then they're debating with Biden or they're debating with Trump, like, no, these two are running for president. They need
that dude. Listen, and I'm not a pro-Trump guy at all, but that dude was trying to. It seemed like he was more on the Democratic side. The first guy, Chris, what do they call mediators or whatever? Maybe. Yeah,
I don't know if that's correct or not.
He was straight up grinding, shooting it. Like even to ask him to condemn white supremacy, like Biden didn't ask him to do that. The fucking commentator dude did. Listen, I think it's a good question. I think it's a great question. But why is the commentator saying, you know, like the mediator or whatever that dude is? Why is he saying it? Like, you know,
that's definitely something that and even the one on I think it was the town hall that Trump did, and God, I can't think of the lady's name on TV. So this wasn't even a debate. This was mainly like, so we're all in a hall and we're voters, right? And the president's there and say, I'm the moderator. I'm supposed to say, okay, well, this is Mike, and he's registered Republican, and he has a question for you, Mr. President. And then Mike gets the microphone. He's supposed to ask the question, and that's it. And that's all my job's supposed to be.
Yeah,
I thought this chick was running for president.
I thought the dude was overstepping his boundaries as the moderator. And I'm just being fair because I try to look at things even.
I agree. I try to
so I get a better understanding of like how it makes sense. But I thought Bull was a little more like he was on some like I'm gonna try to expose Trump almost in a sense.
Yeah.
I gotta go back.
The same vibe.
So hold on, from the one from a couple weeks ago, it was a different dude the next time.
Yeah, there's always a different person.
I think it was a woman, right?
Yeah, this last one was a woman, and I'd say she was the best one yet. She handled everything. She was very professional. You couldn't tell who she was voting for.
You gotta be even. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta be even because you definitely got to be even. I'm for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let the right person that's supposed to win.
And it wasn't a lot of like negative comments per se or any of that. So I think it was more, it was probably the best one that I saw out of all of them. Definitely.
It was.
I got to go back. I'll watch some of it. Now I don't know about tonight, but I'll watch some of it.
Yeah.
It was all right. It was, I thought it was.
That damn thing.
And you know what else is going to be interesting, I thought about? Since there's this mail-in option, which I find a little strange just because I have people that have mailed me things and I've never received them, and or like, I think I mailed my grandmom a card. She lives 20 minutes from here and it's 3 weeks and she still doesn't have my card. So I don't trust, the mail's very funny. But anyway, that's a little weird to me. But to build on that is, how we usually know who the president is that night, like election night, or maybe even to the next morning, let's push it. It's probably going to be different this year because now you have all these, like you have the mail-in votes, you have the basic way of voting. So I wonder what the time frame is going to be to find out who the president is.
Don't the mail-in votes got to be in at a certain time?
I think they do. I think it might be
prior
today.
It's prior to the 3rd, right? It's prior to the election day.
Absolutely. But you got to realize that a lot of people, I think New Jersey isn't even allowed to vote in person. I think they're strictly mail-in ballots. So if you figure if everybody votes in New Jersey and just that state alone, that's a lot of shit to count.
Yeah, but I mean, we can count all the fucking stars in the universe. We better be able to count some goddamn votes. Like, you know what I'm saying? That shit shouldn't be too crazy.
No, but I'm saying I don't think it's going to be that night. I feel like it's going to take a little bit longer than it normally does, was my point.
I feel like the man with the most money is going to win.
Who knows?
Listen, I will say this. I think at the beginning of this year and like all through the summer, I thought Trump was going to crush him. I didn't think it was going to be close because I think Joe Biden's just a joke. So is what's her name? Kamala Harris. She's a joke too. She's a piece of shit for real. I mean, I think Trump's a piece of shit too, but I'm saying I don't think they any better. So, but I just don't think Trump's a politician. That's my only thing with him. And I think what he's trying to stir up, it seems like he's trying to stir up a lot of racial shit. It's just me. I don't know if it's just the people that are following him that are stirring it up. But it's like, since he got in office, I just feel that it's a different temperature, and I don't like that temperature, personally. So I would rather see somebody else in there, but I don't think Joe Biden and them are any better. They're goofballs too. Like, them dudes is clowns. Straight clowns.
Well, me and you were talking about the other night what was it, in the 94 crime bill? The shit that
Kanye was just on not to cut you off, Monica. Kanye was just on Joe Rogan. And it's actually a dope Joe Rogan. I recommend motherfuckers go watch that shit. The shit's dope. I thought it was dope.
I watched about 15 minutes of it the other night that I told you about, and last night I watched maybe about a half hour more. I mean, it's like 3 hours long.
It's long, so
you got to kind of watch it and pick shit back up and shit. But yeah, they get into it, and I got to watch more. But they definitely get into it. It was good.
I like how I think Joe Rogan understands mental health a little better than some people. So the conversation they were having was, I thought, a little doper because Joe didn't look at him like he was crazy. Joe's like, bro, I understand. Like, your brain works a little differently than other people, but ain't nothing wrong with you, motherfucker. You perfectly capable of doing everything. You're good.
Oh, yeah. I don't see him crazy at all. He's doing, the way he works. He's ready to have a whole bunch of money. Way more than he does. Once he makes them factories in Wyoming and all that shit, like I was telling you the other night, he's in Wyoming where he's going to make his own, grow his own cotton and all that shit to make all the fabrics for his clothes and everything else. Do it all in house. He got something going on over there. I think he bought 1,000 acres or some shit.
Yeah, he got a lot of land out there.
Yeah, you could buy it fairly cheap.
That's
what's up. I think he's thinking about putting a big ass concert venue or something out there too. Doc, your audio's off. Yeah, you're good.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're good. It went off for a second, but it's back on.
Yeah, hold on real quick. I'm on my phone doing this and not the computer. So let me text her and tell her to cool out.
Go ahead, do your thing. But yeah,
speaking of mental health, let's talk about anxiety a little bit.
Anxiety. I think we all three of us suffer from that a little bit.
Absolutely. I'm gonna say I can't give a percent, but I would say a lot of people suffer from it and don't even realize that that's what it is.
Because I think if you got it mildly, it doesn't happen all day, every day. So when it happens, And it usually happens when you're worrying about something, of course, anxiety. It's fear of the future almost, or things that have not yet kind of happened. And some of that's based off of trauma from the past. So if I've been through a lot of goofy shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I may fear what some goofy shit happening in the future, and it sometimes stops you from.
And sometimes you don't even. Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you don't even know what it is. Like, for example, I used to tell my mom, like, oh, I'm anxious. And then it's like, she didn't really understand it. But then now I look back and it's like, when I was like younger and shit like that, and I go to the store with my mom always wanted to go as soon as the store opens. I'm like, Mom, we don't need to be there that early. Like even grocery shopping, like 7 a.m. Why are you going there? And she used to tell me, I don't like crowds. And she used to park her car far away, like in the parking lot. So to me, that's kind of like a form of anxiety. It's not debilitating, you know what I mean? And it's not something you would probably think I'm anxious, but it made her feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That she would avoid it. So it was like, okay, well, I'm not going to go, let's say, grocery shopping at 12 o'clock noon when the fucking store's packed. Like she didn't do well in that type of situation. She would want to go when there was like not a lot of people there. So I think there's certain forms.
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing wrong with how she handled that. Because if it's that minor, let's say she didn't have like severe anxiety, to where it's small stuff like that, it doesn't mess with your life as much. Like if I got to park a little further away.
Yeah, but I don't think she would even realize that was anxiety. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I think some people suffer from it so mildly that they don't even realize anxiety is what they're feeling. And of course, there's different strengths to it. Like I know somebody that in my family that would like literally pass out from panic attack, like to the point that they're on the floor.
You know where I first seen that? Because I get the anxiety shit too, but I never got it that bad. But to the point where I passed out, but I saw that for the first time watching The Sopranos. And I was like, damn, what the fuck? I didn't know that people could they pass out from it. That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all suffer from it. And it's just, I guess, it's something we've learned to live with, but it's not very comfortable at all.
I had it. Listen, I had it this weekend real bad. Remember I texted you, Monica?
Yeah.
I was here. We was having the baby shower, and I think it might have been them energy drinks because I don't really drink energy drinks that often. But I banged like 2 of them. Next thing you know, like a couple hours later, I'm sitting in the crib and I like ran out of shit to do because I were like setting up. We had a lot of shit to do. We were supposed to have it at this hall thing, like a clubhouse in our neighborhood, but then they never gave us the right code, so we couldn't even get in the fucking thing. So we had to have it at the house. So it was a lot of running back and forth and goofy shit. So, but when I ran out of shit to do, I started feeling real anxious. I almost jumped in the car and just went for a drive. Yeah, that's how I felt. I just had to get away, or I was ready to like sneak upstairs and just hang out upstairs or something. But I just felt off. But I kind of like toughed through it. But it was bad. Like I ain't felt that anxious in a long time.
Yeah,
it could have been them drinks. I can't drink none of that shit.
It might have been because I think Monica said something about it.
Yeah, them drinks will do it to you. Like if I order say tea or I don't drink coffee, but if I order like hot tea from somewhere or something, I get it decaf and shit just because of that reason.
Yeah, so caffeine sometimes will bring it on.
Yeah, it just makes you jittery sometimes.
Makes you jittery. Yeah, it makes you jittery, like shaky a little bit. That's how I felt.
Yeah. And then it's weird too, because like we all know like maybe a situation we're scared of, like I don't know, somebody that's scared of heights, right? So you get up to a real high spot, or you might avoid it at all costs, but if you had to and you're up there, of course you feel anxious, right? And it's very uncomfortable. But what gets me is when I feel it when nothing's really going wrong. Like maybe you're just at work or you're at home and you're chilling, you're watching TV, and then all of a sudden it comes over. And I think that's kind of the worst kind, because you're not even in a situation that you would think is fearful.
It's your mind. It's your mind race. You start thinking about a whole bunch of shit, and then it might be worrisome shit or whatever it may be, and then it just brings it on. You know what I mean?
And I feel like it's almost like a natural response, like a fight or flight thing. Like your senses are up because you're thinking about something that maybe you're upset about or whatever the case may be. So your body feels the need to be on like 1,000.
And when I felt like that, I started thinking about goofy shit that I'm not even personally concerned with. I'm thinking like, damn, do I look okay? Do people know I'm like feeling this way? Like I started feeling bugged out. Like, and I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with me? But that's what I was just, that shit was.
That's why I can't blow weed or nothing like that. I used to be able to smoke it all the time, but if I just smoke, say, raw weed or something like that, without having like, say, a couple shots in me or something,
it's a wrap. That's what happened to me. That's what happened to me, and I quit for a long time. I could never do it again. And I don't like to use the word paranoid because I feel like paranoia is things that aren't happening, right? But I'll overthink the small things like, oh, I got to go to work tomorrow, or oh, I got to pay my bill.
It's still the same type of paranoia though.
Yeah, but it's things that are occurring now. You understand? But I wouldn't think that heavy about it.
You're not hallucinating.
But it's like, wait a minute, I thought this shit was supposed to help me like not think about my bills or whatever problem I'm going through. So I'm like, this is having the opposite effect now, which it never used to. So I'm like, oh no, I can't deal with it no more. But other people will say it's great for their anxiety.
What'd you say, Doc?
I said, when you were younger, you didn't have no bills to worry about.
Yeah, I guess that, right?
You smoke that motherfucking weed, you be at that motherfucker like, oh shit. It's all do it once. But after it kicks in, you kind of it evens out and then it's smoothed out. But yeah, I don't even fuck with it.
Well, mind you, I mean, I think we could all say that we were like heavy smokers for like quite some time. So for it to have that effect on me was really like bugged out. Like, what happened here? But
Corey still blows heavy too. I don't know.
You know what, Dare? I think it's because me and you quit for a long period of time.
No, I was smoking every day, all night for years.
Yeah, and then stopped.
But my shit too, I get real manic. So if I'm not smoking, I can overthink things naturally. Like my brain can start going and I can't focus on shit.
Yeah, it works for some people. Some people it works for.
It just helps slow me down a little bit.
Yeah. Like you, if you were smoking, like if you were sober and you start smoking even the best of weed, I wouldn't tell that any difference. And like, I mean, maybe a little calmer or something, but I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Like somebody like Lex or something like that. I can't tell if he smokes or not. He always acts the same to me. So I'm just like, all right, it doesn't really do much for some people, I guess.
Yeah.
No change in behavior, nothing.
And I smoke all day, pretty much every day. I mean, to be honest, I smoke.
Yeah.
I smoke.
And I think it helps you. I mean, if it didn't, you wouldn't be doing it. So.
It helps you. Yeah.
It definitely helps. Some people it doesn't though. Some people it burns them out. Some people just get lazy and goofy. And
I remember in high school, it's like, damn, if I smoked, it's like my homework ain't getting done or whatever it is. Like any responsibilities after that, I'd be like, I ain't doing that shit.
I wasn't doing homework. I wasn't doing homework any fucking way.
I used to smoke and go out and ride my fucking BMX bike and hit jumps, be 20 foot in the air on it.
That's what I'm saying. People would get motivated. I would get more chilled.
That's different. Sometimes you get tired. Obviously, you'll get tired, but
yeah.
Something off it. But,
remember the commercials back in the day and the girl used to melt into the couch? My friend's smoking weed. I don't know what to do, or they marijuana or whatever. And the girl's like, she's into the couch.
Remember this your brain on drugs?
Yeah, the egg.
Yeah, and it'd be weed commercial. It'd be like somebody smoking. Oh, he's smoking pot. Here, smoke this pot with me. And it was all goofy. Like it wasn't even believable.
No,
like, ain't nobody act like that. I never met nobody in my life that ever acted like that. Like who the fuck is like? Come on, y'all try. But it worked. It had people's parents all scared. Don't smoke the reefer. Don't smoke the reefer, man. Yeah. Had you scared. That's how they get you. They put fear in you. They plant fear in you with these goofy ass commercials. Jones was corny as shit.
Yeah. How about the one? Well, the bull had a lot more drugs than weed though, and his dad found it, and then everybody was joking about it back then. I think they.
Yeah, man, I know exactly what you're gonna say.
What? I learned it from watching you.
I learned it from watching you.
Yeah, I used to
watch black shit. I used to let Jones know. But then, mind you, all my family, like all my brothers smoked weed. Ike did, and I smoked weed way before Ike did. But my older brothers smoked. I mean, pinch they weed and steal a little weed here and there. Like I was a little shiesty little nigga. My mom smoked weed. My dad didn't smoke weed, but my mom blew. Like all my aunts and shit, any family function we went to, all you smelt was weed because they old heads smoked a little weed. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
most of them still do. Most of them still do smoke weed. Like it's just first. I mean,
honestly, like the fact that they give DUIs for weed, I can't get with it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Maybe in your first, second time smoking or something like that. But listen, any weed smoker that smokes weed, they ain't crashing no fucking car or anything like that because of no damn weed.
No way.
That's absurd.
Nah, I wouldn't. Yeah. I mean, I can see the DUI though. I mean, they'll give you a DUI for fucking medication.
Yeah.
Well, medication. I mean,
you pop some Xannies, you can catch a DUI from that. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't.
It'll say on the bottle like don't operate machinery, but where does it say that? Does it say that with the shit they're getting from the dispensaries or some type of warning label? I wonder.
It probably does. I would assume it does. I haven't read any, but I would assume
it might. I mean, if they're going to protect themselves, so it probably does somewhere. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't have anything to reference it off of. I'd have to ask somebody.
Yeah. But I think we all know ourselves that I don't think that's causing an accident. I just don't see it.
No, it's not the primary reason why an accident probably occurred. No. Not at all.
I could even say Xanax. I think you would crash off Xanax or alcohol way quicker than you would weed. I mean, you could crash sober, but you know what I'm trying to say.
No, I'm saying if you're drinking Xanax and alcohol is like the same effect.
Yeah.
You know, Xanax you're drinking out. Weed, you're not blacking out. It's a totally different effect.
Yeah.
And
I agree with that.
And then that's my thing for the people that have their card. So what are they never supposed to drive their fucking car? You know what I mean? Like that just doesn't make sense.
And it's weird because it's like, what if I smoked yesterday? All you're gonna do is take my blood.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be in there. Like I could have smoked last week and it's gonna be in there.
It stays in there for fucking, what is it? Like 30 days, maybe less. So how are you supposed to know?
Listen,
that's 30. They test the levels. I don't know how that works.
They're supposed to test the levels, yeah.
Whether they do or not.
Man, I don't know. I think a lot, you know. I hate the fact that they'll just come up to the car and be like, I smell like marijuana all the time. There won't even be nothing in the car. They said that shit to me a couple times. I'm like, dude, I've never had weed in this car. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, they just say shit because they want to fucking search the fuck. They just be on some dumb
shit. They want to get a possible DUI out of you. They just do too much sometimes.
Yeah,
they really do.
They be looking for shit. Like sometimes I think the cops just need to fall back and let someone call them when they need them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to run around and try to just jump out on people and get against the wall. Like y'all tripping.
Like,
y'all doing way too much. Y'all draw.
Yeah.
Pull me over for a fucking license plate light and act all crazy like a license plate light, dog. There's 3 other license plate lights on there. You know what I mean? Like you seen the license plate, you came behind it with your headlights on.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and then they'll ask you, are you drinking? They're like, you pull me over for a license plate light. Doing the
somebody I know got pulled over for a fucking air freshener on their rear view mirror. Like,
obstructing your view.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they say. That you're not supposed to have anything hanging off your shit.
Yeah.
That's in PA. In PA, I know that's a law in Pennsylvania because I got pulled over one time for it.
Yeah, they did that. They did that shit to us when we were younger. And Mac Roll car back. I'm talking teenage years, back in like '96 era, '97 or something. Acting crazy, pull guns on us and shit. I'm like,
air freshener.
Yeah, we're like driving to the car wash where everybody was hanging out in fucking Phoenixville. I'm like, dog. Like, you really think we have a bunch of guns in here or something? We're going to the fucking McDonald's and the fucking car wash. Like, what? They're nutty.
Yeah, they really are. Just be like you said, they're just extra. They just be doing, I don't know. They're way out of pocket a lot of times. I'll never forget the sugar thing. I think I said this on the one episode. There was a fucking bag of sugar feet away from us, behind us. I don't know why that was out there. Answer, what is this? And then we're spending 3 hours sitting there, and it's like, it's fucking sugar. Like, what do you mean?
He said, there was ants crawling out the shit.
Was there like ants on it and shit?
Yeah, there was and they acted like It wasn't like it was bagged up like it was dummies or something. This shit was in a fucking just a Ziploc. I don't know what the fuck somebody was doing with that shit.
I highly doubt any ants are going to be crawling all over like cocaine or meth. I would put a big amount of money that says that they won't even go near it.
Yeah.
But if your cop
They'll
logic,
the ants will be speeding around and shit. You
The
think
ants
them
will be dead.
motherfuckers?
Man, they'll be dead. They ain't gonna make it out the bag.
You think them motherfuckers work quick now? Let them get a little fucking
Work quick. Them Jones will just explode. They'll eat a whole piece of coke and just blow up. Boom.
I think
Let's talk about old foundation shit.
where you want to start?
Let's give them the whole story. Fuck it. We might as well give them a quick run through of how this shit all even worked. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did it start? Remember, I could take you back to when I came home. I was coming home on them home passes. And mind you, at this time, Lex was already doing his thing. Lex was doing his thing with my brother and them and DNA and them, Josh Kenner, all them dudes. They was trying to make a little movement with the quantum mechanics shit.
The quantum mechanics shit.
Salute the quantum mechanics. You know what I'm saying? They did their thing. They tried, but I guess they abandoned ship, I think, a little too early. And that's actually Lex had a song called Abandoned Ship too, which is crazy. Yeah, I mean,
no, they had a good idea. It sounded good too, but the reason why I jumped into doing it is because I wanted to know how to make the beats. I always thought the beats were, the rhymes were always cool to me too, but the sound is what I liked a little more about it.
Would you say
we're making these fucking beats? And I didn't know I didn't know what they were making them on or nothing at the time. But your older brother Sid, he knew what was going on with it, and he was like, "All right, you got to use this, you got to use this, use that." But then at that time, the computer software shit was just like coming out.
It was new.
It was new. It was very new at the time, and I grabbed a couple of little pieces of equipment from like Sid had something. He had like the mix board, right? The Tascam.
Yeah.
That was Sid's, right?
Well, it was ours. I think my dad bought it, but I took it. I said, "Man, we're using this." Remember, I brought it over to your house.
Yeah. And
I brought it over to your house. I said, "Man, fuck that. We're using this." And remember, I stole the first couple copies of acid we had on it. I brought them all over there.
Yeah. So they gave us a copy of that too, and that's how that went to start to get into it. And then we hooked the Radio Shack mic up into a motherfucking Tascam mixer and did 9/11, the 9/11 album.
Hold on. We did that on the Radio Shack joint.
Yeah, back in
Where
like
did we start? Where did we start
2002.
Where did we start recording that at? Your basement? Nah, we did the demo joint at your basement. At 4th Avenue, Drive.
Yeah. We started making the first recordings we started with the egg cartons on the wall and shit. I remember that. And me and Tom, Wait Rat, and shit just started getting busy. Then I started listening to the playback on the tape too. I'm like, damn, this just sounds all right. It didn't sound horrible. So I was like, fuck it. Let me see how, what we need to actually get this going. And that's when me and you started. But Lex was already in a group with your brother though. And then they, that went to that fell apart. But they're all still cool. It didn't fall apart in a bad way.
Yeah.
And then me and Corey started trying to go back and think how exactly happened. Started doing some shit in my basement and like gave it to Lex. And I still have them recordings, which is incredible. And I still had the fucking microphone, the Radio Shack microphone we recorded on in a bag in my other room right now.
How did we link with Lex though? I'm trying to think. Like, did it happen? Was it just a conversation?
No. We gave him one of them the little demo joints that we did.
Yeah, because we was working on some shit. You had the John where you sampled the movie Seven. Remember with the evil John? He said, "I'll put a pretty little head in the box," and you was killing that John. I don't give a fuck to this day. I wish you probably still got that shit. Knowing you got that somewhere, motherfucker. I know you got that shit.
I have it on my hard drive. Yeah,
that's crazy because I knew you had it. I was like, he has to have it because Doc got everything. Like, you got everything from. You're like RZA that never had the flood. You know what I'm saying? You're like RZA that never had the flood because you got everything, bro.
I have tons of shit that nobody's ever heard. I mean, I would say probably around if not full songs, but everything that nobody's ever heard. Probably about 100 more songs that nobody's ever heard.
Yeah, 100 songs, Monica. No one ever heard. I probably listen. The crazy part is we was on FaceTime with the boys from Canada, the Campbell bull,
Yeah,
and him and his brother. He's doing I guess he's doing some mixes or some scratches on Lex's album.
Yeah, he's doing all the cuts on Lex's album. We gave him a whole archive of Lex. I gave a bunch of shit to Lex with Pro Tools files that has a whole bunch of acapellas on it. Like just all the audio files that could go along with recording in the Pro Tools. We gave him a whole bunch of shit so he can take our own voices and everything and cut and add like that. So it's real authentic. So yeah, he's killing it though. His shit's they're over there in like over near in like British Columbia, Calgary and shit.
But that night we was on the phone with him, you was playing shit I totally forgot. Like you don't know how many of them songs you played that I just nigga, I don't remember hearing that shit. I probably haven't heard some of that shit since the night we recorded.
Yeah, I got a lot of shit. I still got you on recording from back in like 2000, I guess, 99, 2000 era.
That's crazy. I don't even want to hear that. I don't even want to hear that shit.
You said catch me at a anti-fishing banquet eating salmon. You were like 50, you were like 14 or 15 or something though, right? Well,
I was probably like 17. 16,
how old are you now?
17.
How are you now? I forget. What are you, 4 years younger than me or 3 years younger?
I'm 37.
You're 37. Okay, so you're like 3 years younger.
You'll be
so,
your birthday's for mine.
You were 17. That's what it was. You're right.
Yeah, we got a special guest coming in.
Who's that? Surprise me.
He's not really a special guest. He's just somebody we know. Somebody that's been on damn near every fucking episode. My man Crackman. But Crackman, we talking about old foundation shit. So you can give me a 2 cents in on what was it? What John did you like?
Oh, 9/11.
9/11.
We were just talking about that.
Some people like.
Now, what did you like about it, Crack?
We were talking about this before. I like that joint so much because all Murdock talk about is Phoenixville.
Oh yeah, the early shit. That's what I was talking about. Talking
He
about.
Said, tell Wayne Singer to move to Cuba.
I fuck with Wayne. I fuck with Wayne. I ain't say nothing bad about him. I like Wayne, but
no.
We all fuck with Wayne. We all fuck with Wayne, definitely.
We were talking about it last week though about the line about Spunk and Officer Goggins and all that.
Bust shots at whack DJs like Spunk at the Phoenix. Doc, your audio's off.
Yeah, your audio's off.
No, you're good now. You're good.
Yeah, but I can't hear you guys.
You can't hear us?
No, I only can hear you through the earpiece. I'm on my phone doing this now. That somebody called me on a Facebook chat.
Oh, that's why I probably
and then it cut the fucking audio. I mean, from the speakerphone, I can't hear it.
You good though? You back?
I'm gonna have to leave and come back, I think.
All right, we'll tap out and tap back in.
Got you.
And then I'll give a quick synopsis on Ground Zero, as I remember it. And then Doc can slide back in and give his 2 cents. What about you? What do you remember from the old foundation shit? Did you ever come to any of them studio sessions?
Yeah, definitely. And I just wanted to just speak now, like as being your friend for so many years and all of you guys, just to see like, you know, there's videos of people across the world listening to your music. I can go on Pandora and it's Jon Murdock Radio. I mean, that to me alone is just so dope. It's like surreal because it's like you're my friends or like my brothers, and it's just like people in fucking Thailand or fucking, you know what I mean, and all across the world know your music, and it's I don't know, it's pretty dope to me.
A lot of people from Africa, which is crazy, but Africans for some reason they real into like underground hip hop and shit. They fuck with us because I know Doc could probably say this. He could probably co-sign this. But a lot of African people hit me up all the time. Like they all the time. Like all
What
like
was
every
the one video where the
almost
bulls
probably
listening to
4 or
your
5
song,
times a week
Derek?
somebody hits me up from Africa talking
And
about
he has all
Foundation
these
Ground
chicks
Zero.
over. He got all the chicks over, and he's listening to you, your shit, Derek, and they're talking with the accent.
Oh, the
Oh
bull from
shit.
oh,
I remember
no,
that.
he was in Thailand, but he's from Australia though.
Yeah.
He shot out. He's funny as shit though. Yeah, he had the two Thai hookers in the room,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh, that feels so good now."
Yeah. Yeah.
He said, you know,
Hey, yo,
he said,
where-
you know Superman, you pork chop. You pork
Oh,
chop.
that's hilarious. He said, "You poor child."
You pork chop.
How about what they say to you? Your man fucked up. Wait, how do you say? Your man, he's fucked up. Remember there, Richard?
I was with Tom. I was with White Rat and Richard. Rest in peace to Richard. And
Richard Alonzo, rest in peace to Rich.
yeah, we got pulled over smoking blunts in North Philly, right on Allegheny near like the Boo Boo's Deli over there.
It was the Asian cop boy.
It was a white cop, a big ass husky, like I don't know if there was like a captain or whoever he was, but he didn't have the blue shit on. He had the white shirt on.
Yeah, he was a top bull, lieutenant or something.
He was older too. He has like grayish hair, I remember. So he was on the force for a while. And then the little Asian boy, he was new and he was short. He was probably 5'6", but that motherfucker was crazy. We were smoking weed and Tom said, "Nah, let's just keep smoking it." I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're going to jail." But they didn't care about the weed. And this is like 98, 97.
Hold on, Doc. Y'all got pulled over and Tom said, "Fuck it, keep the weed lit."
He's still blowing the blunt. Yep.
Oh, Tom is shot. Yo, Tom's the most shot ever. Like, keep the weed lit. Nigga, put that shit out, throw it out the window, nigga. Get that shit out this car.
That's what I'm saying. But nah, look, and this was Rick's car. It was a Delta 88, 6-cylinder.
You said that in the song sometime too. You said Delta 88 in the song.
Probably.
I know you did. I know you did.
So look, so they pull it. Long story short, they pull us over because the tags were new, but so they thought the car was stolen, but we didn't have any weapons or nothing like that. But we had the weed, and Tom was like, "Nah, fuck it, let's smoke the weed." But Tom had the 35th Street North Philly tattoo in his arm. So, and we were right down the street from his grandma's house on 35th Street anyway. So he was just like, "No, fuck it, let's keep it lit." And so we just kept smoking it. It was in the ashtray at this point to smoke. Tom's smoking. He's, cops just said, "I'll put it out." Put the blunt out. Still like a half a blunt left. They started fucking with Rick all crazy. That was funny as shit because Rick is all hyped up and shit.
And Rick probably ain't used to that type of shit either, though. I don't know.
So he was there. Tom was driving. I'm in the back seat behind Rick, and Rick's in the passenger. And they said, "Put your hands up." I'm like, "I know we're good. I mean, maybe we'll get booked for the weed, but I wasn't worried about that too much." Tom had his hands up. Rick kept putting his hands down. And the little Asian cop, started fucking with him all crazy. And this is where I think Monica wants me to go with it. All right, so but he, he had
keep putting his hands down or something.
He kept putting his hands down. He had the Asian accent. I don't want to be down here like I'm making fun of Asian people.
No, but let's
yeah. We good.
I'll imitate him a little bit. He said, "Oh, your friend's fucked down."
What's wrong with your friend?
Put your fucking hands up. He kept saying, "Put your fucking hands up." And he said, "Look." Then he said, "Listen, man, they almost kicked me off the force for fucking people up." I was like, "Oh, man." Me and Tom are dying the whole time because the guy's kind of looking at us like fucking with Rick, but Rick is scared to death, but he's looking at us like to let us know like he's fucking with Rick.
Yeah.
They ran the car and all that shit. The car, they finally found out it came back good. And we lit the weed back. And
listen, I will say this though, Doc. Back in 96, 97, 98, you could do that. Which was crazy, but even if you was from out of town, they just tell you get the fuck out of here type shit.
Yeah.
It's different. It was different to where it was like we weren't doing nothing wrong. We might have been down there buying weed or doing what we was doing, but we wasn't doing nothing really wrong, and they knew that, and they let us rock. They didn't lock us up for a little bit of weed and try to fuck the rest of our life up. Nowadays, it's different. It's like everything is let's lock everybody the fuck up. And I think it's corny.
Well, not with weed in Philly now, but I see what you mean. But yeah, especially little small towns. Like, how can you be, 20 minutes outside of the city and they're still taking you to court on like misdemeanor charges and shit for an ounce of weed, right? They're treating it like felony sometimes here. Like 15, 20 minutes out the city, but in the city, it's a fucking fine. Was it 25-hour fine, crack? What is it?
25 hours? I know it is just a fine, though.
I think it's 25 hours if you get caught with it, like 30 grams or less. And if you're caught smoking it, like in public, it's more like $50 or something, or $100 or $75. But it's not that crazy.
Or after times, the motherfuckers used to just take it off you down the city, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna save this for after work or whatever the case may be. Go
I
ahead.
remember they threw that shit in the gutter a couple times on Party Ave. I got caught a couple times on coming off Party Ave, and they just throw the weed. As long as you just had weed, though. If you had anything else, you better stash that. You better stash that.
I've heard stories of them taking things, thrown in the gutter, shit like that. But they locked me up that one time for that three nicks of weed. Remember, I
was with you. They let me drive away.
And you fucked up, Corey.
I was 14 years old.
I know.
14. They let me drive away from the scene. They locked him up. They locked Erica up too.
Yeah, they did.
They locked her up. They locked you up.
What did they say? Something like, does anybody got a license?
Lex was there too. It was me, Lex, and Joe in the back seat of the fucking Acura Integra.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Acura Integra.
They asked you, can you drive? You were like, yeah, I could drive. And you put it in, it was an automatic car. You put it in neutral and tried to go and
rev the engine.
They said, oh, yeah, Corey, he could drive. And then they locked me up for 3 nicks of weed. They had me in the roundhouse for 3 fucking days.
Nah, they charged you with everything else. Doc, they charged you with everything else we put on the seat, though. Because it was like, the one cop came back to the car. He said, put everything you have on this seat right now, and all y'all walk away from this. They didn't search us or nothing. We put it all on the seat. Lex tucked the nick. Lex tucked the nick in his sock. And that was all we had. As soon as we pulled off, I'm like, yo, I need to smoke. Like, because you were rolling a blunt when we got pulled over. Doc was twisting the blunt and driving at the same time.
Yeah.
It was, and that's how we got pulled over. They said the cops had seen us and was like, yo, like, I don't know if he seen him smoking a blunt or they seen us leave the block. I don't know how it happened, but
either or. But
either
they locked him up for weed, but then it's like, oh, y'all got a license? No. Well, can you drive? Yeah. All right, go ahead.
We didn't have no ID. Back then, you didn't need ID. I didn't have ID when I was 14. I didn't have a state ID when I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
So I could just tell them whatever, really, at that point. Like, it was crazy. It was a different time, I guess. But, yeah, they let me drive away.
I was going to tell you, Dave. Go ahead. Well, real quick, when they took me to jail, they had me handcuffed with this old bull. He was like bumming. Yeah. Yep.
I remember that shit.
His head was all fucked up because he got blown up in Vietnam. So his head was like, can you hear me still? People keep calling. Fucking nerves.
Yeah.
Damn. Let me call you back.
You good.
But they're getting on my fucking nerves. Like, yo, like, keep cutting. Next time I'll do this shit on a computer. But yeah, his head was all fucked up. He had metal plates in it. Then he ended up getting knocked out because he said, I killed people. I'll kill them again. And this big bull, big Mr. T looking motherfucker knocked this bull out right in the jailhouse. Knocked this bull out. I thought he was dead. He probably was dead. I don't know if he ever came back from that one. They brought him out on a stretcher.
Where was that at? In the roundhouse?
Yeah, right there in like Chinatown. Yeah,
right in the roundhouse. Yep, right next to Ocean City, the little restaurant joint that be banging. We be going to. Yep, right. It's right up the street. It's a block up the street.
It's right across. You can see the
roundhouse. You can see it from the roundhouse. You can see the shit through the parking lot. Yep.
My favorite Asian restaurant down there, but Monica had a big
popping. I remember we went to that.
Oh my god, I went so many times.
What's the little steak? Yo, the little steak Jones with the bone in. Oh yes, my, that shit's crazy. The little steak, they're cut so thin, but it got the bone in it. Like, so they just cut right through the bone. Like, that shit's crazy.
It's like a beef rib. It's like a rib something. What the fuck do they call that?
That shit popping.
I forget what they name them things.
I used to let you order because I don't think they spoke a lot of English in that joint.
No, barely any at all. But I was in there with a guy who he could speak the language. So that's how he taught me how to order certain things. And then
their tea was banging too, with the sugar cubes and all that. Sunflower tea or something.
Tea was hitting, everything was hitting, the rice was hitting, everything was,
But listen, I gotta say it. I have to say it. I went there numerous amount of times before and after this. But the one time I was trying to show somebody this restaurant because this is how much I liked it. So we all used to get the same thing because that's what we liked. So I had ordered the sweet and sour shrimp, right? So they come out and it's big portions.
Yeah,
so, you know, they got the serving spoon.
Size portion.
Yeah, they got the serving spoon. I lifted a spoonful of shrimp up and a fucking roach.
I would have been
crawling underneath my shrimp. I said, "Oh my god!"
I never had any experience like that there, and I went back a couple times after that, and I was looking too. You had me looking through my shit.
Yeah. But you gotta check. But for real, you gotta remember, like that happened to me down the city numerous times. Sometimes that happens. So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a city. It's a city. Shit happens. But Joe, what's your favorite spot in the city to eat, just in general?
That might be something I have to think about.
A good question. That's a good question right there. That's a hell of a
It is.
Yeah,
we'll get back to it.
Majors.
I've never been there.
I've never been there. Where's it at?
It's on Ridge Ave. Is it still Ridge? Yeah, it's still Ridge, but all the way down, like when you're leaving the city, like going out by Kelly Drive and all that, where they got Dunkin' Donuts, the Sunoco.
Yeah.
It's right there diagonal from the Sunoco.
That's near Tom's grandma.
Sort of,
down further, like you're going home. If you go past Tom's grandma's, go straight down, and when you're going under to the left, Juniors is diagonally. I said Majors is Juniors. Where is it? Man, I don't know.
No, I know exactly where you at.
But it's diagonal from fucking the Sunoco on the corner.
I know you're at. There's a couple people told me that the best Mexican restaurant they ever ate at was right there, right next to that.
Oh, yeah.
Right there in that little area there, right? Yeah, because you got the river road right there, and the bridge that goes over to the other part, follows the river back into the city, goes to the art museum and all that. Yeah, I know exactly where you're at. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try that. Yo, if you keep going farther down, they used to, I don't know if it's still there, they used to have a banging barbecue spot too on the right, going back towards going home from there. Right before the road splits, when you go into Monnie up, the road will split. You know what I mean? It'll go up the road or go to the left. Right before that on the right, there's a spot. So check that out if you're down that way. There's a barbecue joint.
Doc, why you got the 1970s ornaments on the wall though? That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Like the old school ornaments, you know what I mean? Back in the day, the metal ones that you would have on the wall.
You know what?
Somebody gotta know what I'm talking about. The old, every black home had them. Every black crib had them. Because all my had it.
So my daughter goes in there.
My chick put them up there. You know what I mean?
No, they ill. They ill. But it looks like a woman's touch.
My daughter walked in there, and she's in love with those things. I've been looking on the internet for them. She wants them in her room. Is that what it is?
Are they metal? Are they metal?
Yeah, I think they got like a crystal in like a stone or crystal.
It's like the type of, it's an old school, like an old 80s shit. I grew up to that shit. I remember, I think it was an old 70s shit. Motherfuckers in the 80s were just a little late. They still was on that 70s shit. But
I like them. Yo, my daughter's on them like a hawk.
Grover Street, listen, on Grover Street, everybody's crib had one of them in it. I'm telling you. I still remember that shit as a kid.
I'll ask her about it and see what the fuck they're from, because she gets like different kinds of stones and shit like that, and I don't know.
She gonna hook the crib up. She gonna put that woman's touch on it. You gonna be good.
Yeah,
real shit.
You're talking about old school in the 80s. I don't know, or prior to that, I don't know if y'all had this experience, but my grandparents' house, my grandfather's house, that shit had plastic on the couch, and that was I hated it.
All right,
I
look.
seen things like that, but none of my family or nothing like that did none of that shit. We just say fuck it. They had, you know what I mean? They
We
never
had plastic on the couch, and it didn't matter. Like, especially in the summer, you try to get up off that thing, that shit stuck to you. Oh, it was bad.
I had plastic on the couches. It's like all my black aunts had that shit on their couches. They wasn't playing. Like, you wasn't fucking up this furniture in this living room.
Yeah, yeah.
Straight up. And it was funny because we would laugh about it, but I don't know. It was just funny. I guess they trying to preserve their fucking couch. They try to hold on to that.
Absolutely.
15 years.
Of course. Yeah, we were too bad a kid.
How different
Yeah. I would have tore that shit off if I was laying there all sticky and shit. Nah, that shit.
Hell yeah. You know how many times I fell asleep on them my aunt's couch and shit?
Yeah,
woke up
me
sweating,
too. But if I would have touched that shit, I was getting fucked up. So I wasn't touching nothing.
Yeah, woke up stuck to the
to the point where that shit wouldn't hurt. The belt didn't hurt anymore. I'm taking this shit off. You have to do. What you gonna
The
do?
belt didn't hurt no more. That's how it be too. After a while, it's like, fuck it.
Yeah. After a while, my dad knew he couldn't. It wasn't nothing he could do. I was the same size as him. So it was like, and I was already going to jail. I was already going to jail and shit at 14, 15. So he wasn't nothing he could do. He was just like, all right, nigga, this motherfucker just gonna do what he gonna do. And he was right. I mean, it wasn't nothing he could. I wouldn't have fought my pop, but at the same time, like, I was out of control. There wasn't locking this down. But Doc, what's up with let's talk about the best MC ever. We're gonna go around. We talked about classic albums. We talked about top 5. Who's the best MC of all time? You can only name one.
This is hard. One, I gotta pick one.
It's just for today. Tomorrow it might be somebody else, but for now,
I'm saying I'm putting Raekwon up.
Listen, it's October 27, 2020. Whatever it is today, it might be different tomorrow.
I gave you my answer. I said Raekwon.
Good answer. I don't think he's the best of all time, but that's a good answer.
No, but that's what I'm going with right now because you put me on a spot. I have to think a little bit.
Like the best as of like what they're doing now, or just everything
ever. Like, you could pick anybody. If Tupac was your boy, and that was who it was. Like, whoever. It don't matter.
In the prime,
I'm saying hip hop artist, and I'm gonna say this too, because one thing. Hip hop artist. If he was like RZA's a producer and an MC, but he counts. If you say RZA, you say nah because of his production and his ability to rap too. I think combined, he's the best. Whatever that works too. Like, you can do whatever you want. There's no rules to it. It's just who's the best.
If you're gonna go into the making beats and rhyming over them, I would go with the RZA. Yeah.
He's the best he's the best / MC producer of all time. I don't even think that's even up for debate. I mean, if you say Dre didn't write his own rhymes, Dre didn't do a lot of that, I think RZA would go there. And I mean, I ain't mad at somebody saying RZA was dope. RZA can rap. He can rap in his prime. Whenever his prime was, I think
his prime could be right now. Who knows? He's doing movies and all that, but when he was killing, like when he came out with, say, I don't know, like Assassination Day and Tragedy and things like that.
That was his prime.
That was many people up. I wouldn't put and the Gravedigger stuff, and it was so different from the first one to the second one. Not just all production was, what's the name, Prince Paul and stuff, and him, but the rapping was on point. Definitely.
Well, RZA, I think RZA I think he produced a lot of the joints he was on. But I think Prince Paul was the executive producer on that second one. Am I right about that, or am I wrong?
I'm gonna go back and look at the credits, but at that time he did. That's the stuff that was blowing my mind with like the creativity and the use of words and different stuff like that. But Cannabis was killing shit. I mean, so many people were killing shit around that time. It was like it just kept getting better at that time. So I don't know. I don't know, man. You know. If we had to leave any of the Wu-Tang guys out, I'd have to go with Nas. Definitely.
Nas. I'm gonna go with Nas. Nas is I think he's the best. And if it's not Nas, I gotta go with, and it's a close second to me, and I'll just say it because it's so close. Black Thought. To me,
Thought,
I just think
gotta be up there.
thought when you talk about MCing and just rhyming, I mean, he held down every Roots album. Like, he's just so dope. That freestyle on Cosmic Kev, or not Cosmic Kev, Funk Flex,
Yeah.
that joint was crazy. It's just like certain times, and he does it every night. He goes to the Jimmy Fallon show. Like, I think Black Thought's a close second. I don't think he's as good as Nas, though. I think Nas has too many classic albums that trump him, and that's how I would say that Nas is better than Black Thought.
I see that where the argument would be right there. I like Nas a little bit better.
What's his
myself.
name? What's his name? I'm gonna say what's his name. Like, I don't know. Brian Cahill. Shout out to Frozen Smoke. That's his favorite MC of all time. Every time I ever posted anything saying who's the best MC ever,
Black Thought's
Brian
his favorite.
Cahill, he comes right in like, yo, Black Thought's the best ever. And it's hard to even. Black Thought probably got more albums than Nas, I would think.
Well, with the Roots stuff, how many are there?
Yeah. But every Roots album was all Thought. I mean, it's all him rhyming. He's on every song. He's on every song, and sometimes he has every verse on every song.
I mean, he got some bangers. What's that? What's one of my favorite joints because I like the beat so much. What's the title of the song? The Concerto or the Desperado or something? Is that the title?
Desperado, yeah, on All Things Fall Apart album.
Yeah. ROOTS, check the flow. Because like I know that shit's crazy.
I think Malik B's on that album. Rest in peace to Malik B. He just passed away not too long ago.
Oh yeah.
Philly superstar. If you're from Philly and don't know who Malik B is, you need to do your research. Definitely.
Yeah, and shout out to Mars Co-op too.
Mars Co-op, shout out to him. He was lamping in the Ville for a little bit with Obvious. He was staying with Obvious Pain. They had a spot together downtown.
I didn't talk to him in a little while though. I was supposed to give him some beats or something before. Was it the beats he wanted, or was it I forget. He's living with Sag. Remember, him and Sag they were living together.
Yeah, they had a spot together too downtown.
Westchester at one point too. I think Westchester. Mars was there over. If people ain't familiar with Mars, he's on
Clones.
The Clones joint. Yeah.
Clones joint. That was one of the Roots' biggest Johns till then. Like, Clones was a big song back then.
That's a heater too.
That's a banger. They killed that. It was a good song. Philly got a lot of good music, and I think a lot of people sleep on the Roots because they're a little more grassroots. They're street niggas, but they're not. They don't come with that street type. You know what I'm saying? They come with a different angle, and they some hood niggas from South Philly that just found a way. They're very artistic people too, so they weren't gravitated towards the streets. They were more gravitated towards poetry, rhyming, MCing, hip hop, and that type shit, which saved them. Saved them.
Damn right. Oh yeah, I remember when they were like in the video, fucking just bummy as shit. But look where they're at now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're killing it.
Crack, what's your choice?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask.
Crack, we've been waiting. I've been waiting to sneak that question in.
No, it's Nas.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's surprising. I wouldn't think Nas. I need a breakdown on that. Why would you say Nas? Just in my curiosity, you're a little younger than me. That's why I say that. I'm a little younger than Doc, but me and Doc kind of grew up in the same era.
We got age gap there, definitely. Because how old are you now?
But the crazy part is, Doc, me and your age gap's probably the same as me and Crack's. I don't know how old Crack is, but if I asked him, it's probably 3-year difference, 3-4 years. That's the same.
Yeah, what are you, 34? 33?
I'll be 33 in an hour.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy born day, son.
Happy birthday.
Nigga. Good shit.
Yeah, there's the 8-year age gap between
33, yeah.
But then that's 4 years. That's 4 years for me and him. Me and you was like 3 and some change.
Yeah, so
it's just different. It's just different. I think me and you, it's just different. I think the age gaps are a little different.
It is 100% because Wu-Tang is a great group, all artists and all that, but like that's before my time. I
missed you.
I never really listened to them like that.
Yeah,
I know a lot of their big stuff, but like other stuff I don't know. So
can you please listen to them?
But sometimes when you miss something, you missed it. You don't always got to go back and get it.
I was just going to say that if you weren't around, like say a teenager or an adult or close to one, when like say Cuban Links and all that shit was coming out, and you would just be driving to it or whatever you're doing, and you seen what was going on outside the window of the car, whatever it may be, it just totally fit the era. And then it's just like you couldn't kind of listen to it now, and it's a different way. It's a different world now. It's
Think about how we just spoke about this, how Philly was back in the day. We would go to the city because we all from the suburbs. We ain't from the city. We ain't from the inner city. We didn't have to grow up like that. It's a little different. It's two different. It's apples and oranges. But for us, like back then, we're hearing Cuban Links, and then we're driving down the city and we're seeing this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's making it real for us. So to put it in context, like Cuban Links or maybe the Iron Man album or whatever, it's more like Life of a Drug Dealer with the Jizza, Liquid Swords. Like certain songs, like I go down there and you be bumping it, driving through the city and seeing a whole different lifestyle. And you're like, oh shit, this is really what it is. And mind you, it's New York and Philly, but they right next to each other. It's Philly's like a baby.
What they were doing was exactly. It's like the same style. What they were doing at that time was all like reality rap shit. They were capturing what was going on the same way, say, NWA was capturing what was going on over in California and shit over their area. Because if without them, we wouldn't have known about none of that shit. They were bringing like the fucking the news, like street news to you through the videos and all that stuff. That's why it blew up so much. People, we didn't know that shit. Yeah, the low riders and all that crazy shit and all that, they brought that to everybody's attention. The crime going on and how it was over with the gangs.
The gangs, I mean, all the gang shit. Yep.
Yeah, like what you have to really tell you that the movie Colors. I guess.
Then you had like movies. You had movies like Boys in the Hood or Menace to Society that touched on it and helped to see it a little.
That was coming out after the whole NWA thing and all that. That's why they threw Ice Cube in there and all that shit. So it's like, you kind of had to be there sometimes, because I don't want to keep talking about it, but I like Run DMC. I fuck with Run DMC. I fuck with all the old shit too. But I'm not, if some people are going to say Run DMC is their favorite group, and I love their shit. It's dope as shit. Rick Rubin killed it. All that shit's dope. But I'm not going to say that, they're fucking with like a Liquid Swords album or not like that. That would be ridiculous.
That's two different. Yeah, it's two different eras there too. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, both great
Definitely
stuff.
Two different eras.
Two different situations. I mean, I fuck with that.
And I feel like Wu-Tang made it like they made almost like intelligence cool. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You would listen to the albums and learn shit. I can't say that for what I'm hearing now. I tell you that much. That's why I can't listen to that third grader reading level shit, and they're mumbling, and I can't hear what. Come on, man, get out of here.
A lot of what they were spitting was just supreme mathematics and lessons that they learned through their spiritual, the way they carry on, which is 5%, pretty much 5% Nation of Gods and Earths. Which stems from Nation of Islam. It's a long lineage of shit, but yeah, a lot of that was that.
Even just the vocabulary that's used compared
just
to
a conscious mindset at that time, to where people valued education and they valued vocabulary. If I'm gonna be an MC, my vocabulary's gotta be sharp, because
lyrics matter.
If I'm battling, exactly, it all matters. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I liked it the most. I liked it the most because of that reason also. But definitely, like, we go back to the Nas situation. Nas is on that level, you know what I mean, of lyricism and cadence and everything. I've been listening to a lot of Nas lately. I've been listening to him since he came out, but I've been listening to a lot of Nas.
What you been listening to?
The Lost Tapes 2. Which I like. I like that album. I didn't like the one with the Hit Boy guy. I really just don't like the guy's production like that.
I think it's a different style. It's a different era of
I don't like the guy. I don't like his beats too much, to tell you the truth. So it's not going to do nothing for me.
Yeah.
And listen to the beats, I'm just like,
I can see that. I could definitely see how
Some of them are good. Some of them are good. But
Some of them are good. Some of them are. Yeah, I'm not really feeling.
Yeah, word. So
I feel you on that.
I like the Lost Tapes Part 2, and I was listening to it was written in Illmatic. I mean, I just been listening to them 3 because I went online and I downloaded the motherfuckers for free from the torrent. and then I was like, yeah, let me put, because I used to have all that shit on CDs. So the CDs are, all my CDs are beat. I've had them since 20 years ago and shit, or whatever, more than that. But yeah, them 3 I've been listening to because that's the only ones I have in the car.
Crack, what makes you say Nas? I don't think I gave you a chance to explain that.
It started for real when.
Yeah, where did Nas start from you? I'm curious.
The Spanish bull Jose, when he used to sell mixtapes.
Okay. Hold up. DJ, what was his name? DJ. Nah, fuck that. We getting this. What was Jose's DJ name? Doc, you stop. I know you know. We had it in your car, and I remember we was like, "What the fuck would he name himself that for?" Because I fucked with Jose, I just didn't fuck with
Jose from New York. Jose,
Gonzo's cousin. Yeah.
Well, listen, I don't know. There's a lot of fucking Jose's in the world. I don't know.
What was his name? DJ J Boogie.
It is. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
DJ J Boogie, and I was like, nah, nigga, that's not it. Like, I get it, J Boogie. Like, I get it.
Hold on. Where was he originally from? The Bronx?
New York.
I know.
New York. He's from New York originally, I believe.
I know he's from New York. I remember when he moved down here, and I bumped into him. I think he was trying to hustle on a corner or something. And I'm like, he was new to the area, and then I didn't recognize him or nothing, and we didn't say nothing bad. He just said, "Yo, what's up? How you doing?" type of deal, and he was real friendly, and I was friendly with him, and we became cool, and he was cool with me ever since. But I think he was from the Bronx, right?
He might have been. I'm not sure.
I'm not quite sure either.
Maybe that meant I'm asking that because it would be something that would make a lot of sense if it's J Boogie down Bronx. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I get it.
That might be why I made the name. I don't know, but I know
That's a nice way to clean it up. But I thought that was a corny ass name when it came out. And I think he was dating my cousin. I think he dated my cousin for a while. Wasn't he dating one of the twins?
Yeah.
Who was he dating?
That was pretty good. Huh?
I don't know who he dated back in the day. I thought he dated
the end of a king's reign, God at sea. Yo, riding through the desert on a horse with no name. Seen Roscoe P. Cold chain and stuck him for his gold chain. Cocaine trafficking, the accent was African. Lost his arm in the mix, the doctor sold it back again, immaculate. But you don't know the half of it. My boom bap, backpacking, you would pack and hacking tricks, adapt to it. Other types of shit I learned by accident. Feds raided the crib, I erased all the data quick. Met with my man, who was raised near the Gaza Strip. Hit me with a brick, he snuck it back through secret passages. You faggots can't fuck with my crew. If it's alive.